An initiative of Grey Matters Capital, Edfin, a microfinance bank with a vision of focusing on providing savings, loans and value-added services to stakeholders in the education sector, was recently launched.
Edfin is really a new actor on the scene in Nigeria. You obviously have a very dynamic community of private schools that are filling a great need in the Nigerian education system. You have a huge pool of potential talents in your children, and the private schools in Nigeria can help to bring them up and achieve their potential. So Edfin is really designed to help these schools serve these children more effectively, both in terms of increasing their capacity to take in more students as the population grows, but even more importantly, to improve the quality of the education that the students are receiving in these schools.
The lender, which is Nigeria's pioneer specialized bank focused mainly on education finance, is designed to improve learning outcomes by providing financial services to private schools, contractors, and other stakeholders.
Our vision is actually to be the globally recognized microfinance bank for education finance. We feel that if we finance education, people will have increased access to education as well as better quality of education. Apart from providing financial services, we provide what we call value-added services. Those value-added services actually focus on improving teacher quality of learning so that students are able to learn, as well as various infrastructure tools that the schools may need. We want to specialize in it so that we know exactly what school owners want. So it's not just a general loan, but we give a loan and the value-added services in a manner that ensures that the school transforms and truly improves learning outcomes.
Speakers at the launch of the bank urged the bank to direct their services to bridge the gap in skills and knowledge of schools.
No matter what age category your school caters for, the people that they are competing with are not their fellow children in Nigeria or youths in Nigeria. They are not even their fellow children and youths in West Africa. They are not. They are not in Africa, no. Or in the developing world, no. They are competing with the rest of the world. So it's a global level competition. So the content of what you teach, the quality of what you teach must reflect that. Because ultimately, those products of your school hold the key to the sustainability of your school. Now, what is it that Edfin coming into this space helps us to achieve? It helps us to achieve the transition that many countries have been grappling with, which is that there is a cost for education.
This scope and the scale of the private education market in Lagos, there were over 18,000 schools. Over 85% of those schools had been in existence for over 5 years. The market employs over 270,000 staff, 100 and something of them being teaching staff and the rest support staff. So this is a massive market for any private investor to consider. So for DFID, and for Her Majesty's government as a whole, this is amazing value for money, which we care about. So congratulations to Mrs. Lawson and to the Edfin team, the board, on this landmark achievement.
How do you get money? People say use other people's money, OPM. It's not easy in these difficult times to find OPM either. So we do need the banking sector, the finance sector, to come to the aid of schools. But what I find as a practitioner really is that most financial institutions do not understand schools. They do not understand how they work, they do not understand their cash flows, they don't understand their funding. And I'm glad this kind of thing is starting, because I think what is happening is Edfin is a pioneer in the field. Edfin just didn't come into the field and say, I want to be working with schools. Deep study, deep understanding, so that they understand that schools, money comes in 3 times.
Out of all the interventions you can do, the most important is teacher education and development. It's not about the money. There's so much money coming into the system, but we are not getting the results because we are not spending the money in the right place. Money matters. The money is important, but the money needs to go into the teaching. It's the teachers that deliver the quality. You cannot give what you don't have. That the thing. So I want to say to the educators here, if you get money from Edfin, yes, you will do other things, but please pay your teachers well.
Other guest speakers at the event include the Director General, Lagos State Office of Education Quality Assurance, Mrs. Runke Shoyombo, and Oji Kanu. They say the initiative is a landmark achievement.
I would like to say here, emphatically, that Lagos have improved so much when it comes to policy issue with regard to operations of local schools. But there's still much to do. I want to thank this organization. We know where this journey began because we're part of it. So and we are happy that it's coming, it's a reality today. Edfin should not only stop in giving us money. They should provide a desk that should talk about education of how to manage the money collected.
Our children must be in secured, safe environment. And for them to be there, they need money to actually get their schools into the right condition. And so it's so brilliant today that we've seen an education finance group where they're going to give very low rates in terms of interest rate to support our schools, because we need that. And also, don't forget what we have emphasized today, that schools should not just look at the hardware side. What about the teaching and learning? Let them send our teachers out there for good trainings, because teachers need good trainings.
Represented by Sam Egube, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said he was pleased on the bank's resolve to direct its empowerment to the education sector.
As a new entrance into the financial space, we like to congratulate them because funding is always something that is required to stimulate growth in any sector. And what they have done is to come in with a specialized form of funding, right, that will focus on the education value chain. And we are glad and we do welcome them. And His Excellency does assure and affirm that he will give them all the support that will be required to make a success out of what their objectives are, which aligns very much with what the government would like to do.
This is really a breakthrough for us. The constraints that have been there over the years is gradually being removed, because there is a huge market deficit of around 542 billion in terms of income capture, expenditure that were there over time. And so this is really a good news for us, and that's why we are here today to support it and say, yeah, things can really happen.
If we are talking about development of education in Nigeria, today has been a landmark in the history of education in Nigeria. This is what we have been expecting. There has never been a financial bank supporting education. Others, they will be looking for one way or the other to deviate from sponsoring education. But with this one is sure that there is future for education in Nigeria.
Edfin Microfinance Bank is expected to partner with the government in the realization of its set goals of making schools to become sustainable businesses.